What's going on, everyone? It's Sanoflex here. For this Skyrim mod collection video, I'm going to go over a bunch of user interface or UI mods for Skyrim. And the first mod you'll need to get is SkyUI, and this is the #1 mod for Skyrim. It overhauls the inventory, magic, barter, and loot menus of Skyrim to make them a lot more keyboard and mouse friendly, but it works perfectly fine with a controller too. Now, you'll notice that all the items will have a category. It's like all weapons, apparel, potions, scrolls, food, ingredients, books, keys, and miscellaneous. And then in each of the little categories, there'll be some more additional information like the type, a stat, whether it be damage or armor, the armor class, the weight, and the value. And of course, if you just highlighted something, you can move it around and zoom in on it if you want. Now, one really cool thing about SkyUI is that there's a little icon next to each item that way at a glance you can get an idea of what it is, and then there's some additional information with more icons to the right of the item name. And the little star symbol means that it's a favorite, right? So it's in the favorite menu. The little bolt symbol means that it's enchanted. A little diamond symbol means that it's the best in class, meaning it's the best possible item that you can wear. And then there's another item, or item symbol, that is a red hand, just like was in Skyrim or Oblivion, that is for a stolen item. And then there's also a green teardrop if your item is poisoned, if you put a poison, that is. Now, one really cool thing about SkyUI, and this will switch over to the magic menu, is if you press left shift, you'll switch between the inventory menu and the magic menu, which is really neat. Now, again, this is just separated into categories. You got your favorites, all of the spells, your alteration, illusion, destruction, conjuration, restoration, shouts, powers, and then your active effects, kind of like your buff abilities, or debuffs, that is, because I'm turning into a vampire right now. Alright, so one really cool thing about this is that everything here is just detailed, right? You got the level of the spell, the magic cost, the time, or this is the cost right here. Now, one neat thing about this is that all the spells here are given just a really neat layout kind of thing. You got your description down here of what the spell actually is, just like how it's in the default game. And then if you want to switch back to the inventory menu, just press shift again, and there you are. That way you don't have to hit tab and then hit tab again and then go over to the magic menu. You know, just an extra step eliminated. Now, one really cool thing about SkyUI is that you can filter stuff, right? There's a little search bar up here. So if I wanted to just find, I don't know, a health potion, right? Just type in health, and then there's an elixir of health, right? Or healing, that is. I guess it's called potion of extreme healing or whatever. So that way I can type into the search bar and find what I want really quickly and to the point. And then there's also filtering effects. So if I wanted, let's go ahead and clear that out. So if I wanted to go filter for something, I don't know, by if I had it equipped or not, right? That way I can unequip something and equip something new. I can press on the little name here and then sort it around, and this works across all the categories. And then one really awesome feature about SkyUI is the mod configuration menu. You'll need to open up the base menu for this. Go to mod config right there, and then you'll see the mod configuration menu, Skyrim edition. Now, if you click on a mod's name, you can configure it to your liking. So for instance, this is the default SkyUI, and you can change stuff in-game without using any console commands or editing like a text file. That way you don't have to exit Skyrim at all. It's really neat, and it gets rid of that like really nasty menu system that a lot of older mods used, and I hope a lot of mods transition to this. It's really nice. So here you can change your font size, you can do some more advanced features like aligning the text however you want, etc. And then it works with other mods like iHUD, right? And that's the next mod I want to go over. And iHUD's very, very configurable to your liking, and this is the next mod you'll need to pick up. iHUD stands for Immersive HUD, and the basic premise behind the mod is that it'll hide the HUD when you don't need it, and then show it when you do. So for instance, I'm just chilling here in Dragon's Bridge, but if a dragon came all of a sudden, and I wanted to fight him, I could pull out my whip out, or I could whip out my bow here and fight him, right? But otherwise, I can hide it. And then you see how the crosshair appeared and then disappeared? That's really nice. And then if I was sprinting around or something like that, it would show the compass at the top of the screen. Right now I have it hidden and just never show, but if you were sprinting around, the compass would show at the top. And it's just a really nice immersion creaser. That way you don't always have the compass on the top and don't always have the crosshair on wherever you're looking at stuff. And if I wanted to go to like an NPC or something like that, see how the crosshair appears. That way I know I can talk to her. And then the next mod you need to get for the UI is Categorized Favorites menu. This is a really awesome mod that'll pretty much sort all of your favorites into categories, and I'll have your hotkey ones here, weapons, the schools of magicka, miscellaneous consumable items, your armor, and your abilities, which are shouts and powers. And there's several different options around this, but you'll need to download actually 2 mods here. You'll need to download the regular Categorized Favorites menu, and then you need to download an Oni edition of it, and that makes it compatible with Dawnguard and Hearthfire and a lot of other big popular mods. And what I like about this is that it's just very easy and clean to navigate. It's not the best with controllers, but it works alright. I think basically you can just shift around by using the right or left bumpers for switch around the little menus here. But for keyboard and mouse, it's awesome. If you want to like favorite something like Sparks or whatever, you could press the number and then boom, you got it favorited. And then of course you can click on something to make it, you know, wield it or whatever. Now let's move on to unique region names. This is a really awesome mod that'll basically replace the name of open Skyrim with the hold of Skyrim that you're in. So for instance, I'm just going inside this cell real quick to demonstrate this. So instead of saying it open Skyrim or like exit Skyrim or exit to Skyrim, whatever the syntax would be, instead of it having Skyrim, it'll have the hold of Skyrim. And this goes across all 9 holds of Skyrim and includes the Sea of Ghost. So if you're, you know, way up north or whatever and you're exiting to the Sea of Ghost region, instead of saying a hold, it'll say Sea of Ghost. Just a really nice immersion increaser, and if you save your game in a location that is in a hold, it'll have the hold name. So if you save your game here in Hoffengar, or if you save your game here in Dragon's Bridge, it'll say Hoffengar on the save name. Then let's go ahead and take a look at Shouts in Dragon's Tongue. This is a pretty sweet mod. Whoops, let's open that menu, shift. Now this will change the dragon shouts to a kind of like a in the dragon's tongue, right? So it's right now it's not compatible yet with Dawnguard, but it'll rechange all the dragon shout names to the dragon shout, like the actual lettering, like how it would be, you know, Fuss or Die, everyone knows that, that's Unrelenting Force, but in the vanilla game, it just says Unrelenting Force. Now with this mod, it'll change it either to Fuss Da and have no hint, or you'll get Fuss Da and then a hint. So I have a hint version, that way I kind of know at a glance of what I'm casting here. So for instance, the Clear Day shout is Lokva Core, and then it'll have a little hint next to it is clear. But you can, like I said, you can get the version that does not have a hint if you really want to increase your immersion. And of course, you can always just read the little description here to get an idea of what the shout is. I think it's a pretty neat mod. And now let's move on to a couple of other mods. Better Quest Objectives is the next mod you should pick up. It'll pretty much add a lot more descriptive qualities to the quests in Skyrim. So for instance, in this quest where you meet Barbas the talking dog, there's not a lot of information given about the quest other than just find the Rueful Axe. You don't really know where the Rueful Axe is. So if you were, you know, took a break from Skyrim for a week or two and just totally forgot, you would have to rely on the quest marker in order to complete the quest or consult something like, you know, an online resource to find where the Rueful Axe is. But with this mod, it's all done in game. You get some more descriptions of where the Rueful Axe is. That way you complete the quest, and this spans across almost all the vanilla quests, and it's a really nice mod. That way you just get more information about quests in general, which adds a lot more to the gameplay experience. The next mod you probably should pick up, and I recommend this, but it's not for everyone, is Time on Loading Screens. This will just make a nice little time to the bottom left of the screen of what real time it is, you know. So if it's like 9:21 in the morning, you'll get the timestamp, and then you'll get a nice little analog clock, you know, for whatever. You could position the clock however you want using a text file to configure it to your liking. And then the other 2 mods I'll mention are Load Screen Replacer mods, and I made a video about that earlier, so go ahead and click on the screen to watch that. And then the No Loading Screen Smoke mod. Now in Skyrim, the vanilla game, there's like a really, I don't know, it's kind of nasty. I don't like it. There's that kind of like foggy, smoky effect when you're first starting up the game, and then when you're in loading screens. There's a mod that replaces that with a blank FX, and it just removes the little smoke, and I recommend picking that one up, and it goes great with load screen mods. Anyways, that's it for this Skyrim mod collection video. Thanks for watching. Please support the mods you like by endorsing them. I hope this video helped you learn about a few new mods, And if you want to learn about more mods, feel free to subscribe to my channel to see more Skyrim mod videos.